Okay, Thursday, 7th of March 2024. So, freedom is a high stakes game that not everyone wins at. So, it's interesting to note that the world we live in, Western world, or just the world in general, we have a lot of freedoms. We have a lot of options and abilities to do loads of different things. The range of possibilities, what we can do with our freedoms, is very, very high. We have the freedom to say, jump into a car and drive, but also, interestingly, the same freedom to also crash it as well. The same freedom to trash or destroy our car, intentionally or otherwise. It's that range of possibilities that allows us to do more things in life. We're responsible for the victories, but also for the defeats. We are entitled to the spoils of war, let's say, to the amazing treats and delights and attention and respect from winning and being victorious, but also we're responsible for the defeat, the bad times. We are equally responsible for the good as well as the bad. I know, for example, if you want to run a race, marathon, for example, all the victory and praise is yours, but also the responsibility of breaking a leg or hurting yourself is yours as well. It's that range, that possibility. We can't have this possibility of doing amazing and getting amazing things without this happening, the bad stuff down here happening. Because otherwise, it's not really freedom, where it's the freedom of the outcome. It's the freedom to do things. It's the equality of opportunity, which is this. Yeah, equality of opportunity to do anything you want, as opposed to equality of outcome. The results being the same, because you can't have all this without all this down there. Equality of opportunity to do anything you want. Someone could say, I want to, say a marathon. The same freedom that gives someone the ability to exercise and run and train and whatever else gives somebody else the opportunity, the chance to do nothing at all and relax or be lazy, for example. It's that same level of freedom. If you're not pushing to get something amazing, you're not taking on these other risks. But also, risk and reward is not always correlated, generally. But there are some nuances, some specifics, some techniques, and knowledge or awareness or understanding or circumstance. But that's another video. But the point is, we can't have all this potential up here to succeed without the risk down here. Now, so that means then by default it's a high risk, it's a high stakes game. To do amazing things in life, you have to be prepared to win or lose it all. Okay, so it's high stakes, but it's as high as you want it to be. If you want to take no risks in life, you take no risks, you get no potential reward. So you can play it in the middle, play it even, and nothing much will happen. Now, it's a high stakes game that not everyone succeeds at, not everyone is victorious at. And the reason behind that is literally anything. You open the dictionary and look at any adjective, any describing word, and that will be someone's excuse for not going out into the world and doing what they want, or achieving, or building, or creating, or striving. They're too scared, they're too tired, they're too lazy, they're too obtuse, they're too stubborn, they're too proud, they're too sensitive, you name it. There's any potential reason why people don't do X or Y or Z. And when people say, if it's so easy, why doesn't everyone do it? Which really could be a topic of another video as well. If it's so easy, why doesn't everyone do it? Well, that's not really an argument, because it's subjective. We all have our own excuses for not doing something. Again, open the dictionary and find any adjective, and that's probably someone's excuse. Oh, I'm too bashful, or I'm too successful, or I'm too lazy, or whatever else. That'll be someone's excuse. So they have the ability. The door is open for them. The door is unlocked, let's say. They just have to open it. They have to just pursue and work on and strive and build and think strategically, but they don't. So therefore, if there's no input to work towards something, there's going to be no output. You can't get something with nothing, so therefore, you could argue that they lose. Now, not so much they lose that bad things happen to them, because bad thing happens to everyone, but they don't do it. They don't pursue. They don't take the risk. Again, for their own subjective reason, but they don't do it. If you do nothing, you get nothing. Simple as that. Those that do things and achieve things, all the reward, the praise goes to them in that specific thing. Credit is due. What's the phrase now? Credit is due. Give credit where credit is due. If you do something amazing, the pride, the respect, reputation, the reward is justifiably theirs, or justifiably yours. And the key word there is justifiably as well. Because I heard an interesting quote by Charlie Munger, actually, years ago, that the world is not crazy enough yet to give undeserving people stuff for free. Okay, fair enough. So, worth understanding. So, in this high-stakes game, it's worth understanding, clarity, worth understanding what we want and don't want in life. We want this, we want that, we don't want this, don't want that. And then working towards it. Building this channel comes with, the risk of being in public, but at the same time, the rewards, the attention, the respect. I deserve that because I worked and I created for it. Both of these things are possible, but it depends what we're working towards, what we're building towards, what we're focused on. Clarity, working towards that. And you can expand that to anything. Building a business, working, making money, driving somewhere. You want to. I drove around Scotland a few years ago, July 2021. The risk was, breaking down in the middle of nowhere, but the reward, the potential reward was, pride and confidence and self, reveling in my own pride and an achievement of doing all that 2,000 or so kilometers, but also at the same time, the respect, the self-confidence, the internal and external rewards. And then you suggest that to people, take 2 weeks off and drive around Scotland. Not everyone will do it. Some people will be scared. They do nothing, they get nothing. They're in the middle. They're neither here nor there. Okay. Now, of course, bad things happen. Of course, but then there's a question of being clever and thinking, if this happens, planning ahead, backups. If this happens, what can I do? What alternatives do I have? What can I do? Who can I ring? What ways can I maneuver this situation? How can I handle this situation? And there are ways. It's called planning ahead, thinking ahead. And that kind of circumvents the problems because we have a solution. We're thinking ahead. Fair enough. But the fact that I did that around Scotland means that I have a level of respect that I've earned. I have more confidence, let's say. And people recognise that achievement. So therefore, I'm higher in their eyes. That's success. But not everyone will dare do that. Not everyone can do that. Fair enough. We all do what we can. And each person has different subjective goals. But it's interesting to note, in the world we live in, there's this range of possibilities. And of course, the more freedom we have, the more possibilities there are to succeed in magnificent ways or to crash in spectacular ways. And of course, and the tie to that range is, by definition, the less freedom we have. We can't really do as many things, therefore we can't fail as much. And when it's so tight we can't do anything, what is that? You might say anything, communism, for example, equality of outcome, not equality of opportunity. You name it. I'm sure you can figure out what this kind of scenario would be. Big government. The bigger the government, the smaller the citizen. For example. So that's an interesting concept. Success is a high stakes game. And we want equality of opportunity, having more chances to do amazing things, as opposed to equality of outcome. Because no matter what you do here, the outcome, the result's still the same. Because if you do this and you achieve this, nothing bad happens, and you get that, the same thing as not doing it in the first place, and that's dissatisfying. Because you did all this, credit where credit's due, so you expect to be rewarded up here, or respect, or trust, or reputation. Credit where credit's due. Fair enough. So otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.